Rock on. Oh, I'm so sorry. No. Very sorry. Wow, I apologize. Well, I can be a little more free because I have more guardian angels than most people. So that's how I justify it. GA? GAs? What's that? Oh, guardian angels. Not sure. I'm not sure where I stand with that. Fuck off. I mean, I've thought that maybe there's some sort of universe force that's that has my back. But as far as calling it guardian angels, I'm not so sure about that.
A universal force that has your back.
Something like that.
Ooh. Yeah, could be.
Maybe. Or it could just be bullshit. I don't know.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that people like to have some spiritual reason for why certain things work out. And they want to believe that there's like, they have comfort in thinking that there's like a higher power that's looking out for them.
Well, let me tell you about this. Since I've been sort of coming into line with my intuition and valuing it and what have you, when I got my bike, what happened was, I've got to be quiet telling you this. But, the lady downstairs was asking loads of questions like how much is it worth, etc.
Oh.
And also when it came, she came out and she was looking at it. It's like she turned into Gollum. And then yeah, and then this guy came over. I hadn't even like signed it, had it signed off to me, and a guy came over to talk to her because I'd just told her that I was actually getting one. And then so this guy comes across. I'd never seen him before, and he's like, "Oh, is she in?" I'm like, I don't know if she's in. Why would I know if she's in? You know, the door's there. So what that means is that he knows that I've been talking to her. Do you know what I mean? So, because otherwise, how would he know that I just live outside? You don't sort of ask somebody if somebody's fucking in. How the fuck do they know it's a flat? So then he comes out, and I'm just like sort of putting something inside my flat, which is, you know, both we share a hallway. There's just two flats that lead onto this little porch, and he's like, "Have you got a lock for it? have you got a disc lock for it?" And I look at him like, I can't even remember what I answered first. I don't think I answered him. I was just like, and then he followed me back to the bike, just around the corner. It's not that much, but he was going. Oh no! The first thing was when he went to the door to speak to her, she opened the door and she was like quiet, but usually she's got a big gob. And so it's like she was like listening or trying to tell him something, and I sensed that this was weird. And So like I said, when he came out, he was like, he must have asked me that question like 3 or 4 times at least. And I just looked at him with a funny look, and I was like, why do you want to know? And he was like, oh, because I've got one you can have. And a chain, you've got a chain for it. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, all right. You could have had that one. You could have had mine. I'm like, this is just weird shit. But it was a brand new bike, and it does look amazing. But I just got the feeling that he was. I think that basically he was trying it on. He obviously, if he's got a bike lock, he's got the fucking key, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And there's usually 2 or 3 keys with a lock. So
yep.
So that it was all that to me was like, I felt like it was under threat, and someone was going to nick it. I was probably correct, but so that was my intuition about the situation. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I said it to other people. Like, I think that, like my dad was saying, they were probably just like asking because it's new. And yeah, a lot of people are going to see it that way, but I just got a bad feeling about it. I know that you get a new vehicle paranoia, anxiety, but anyway, what I did was to ameliorate that feeling, which was like a really bad feeling, but I kind of took it as a spiritual learning that, more money, more problems, basically. And if you get nice things like that, it just means that you're going to have more things to worry about. But what I did was, to that day, not to ruin my buzz, I looked upon the registration, which is like got a PJ, starts off with PJ, and my dad's name is PJ, and his second name. So what I did was I allowed myself to see that. Oh, that's a sign. Do you know what I mean? That I'm actually going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Nobody's going to steal it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. That was your comfort? Is
Yeah.
PJ? Oh. So you still have the same bike lock?
Oh yeah. Well, I've got my own. Obviously,
Oh.
I didn't take his nice, kind offer.
Okay.
I've got a few locks on it, so it's all right.
Yeah. That's cool. So has that happened multiple times, or is that
where I can allow myself to be superstitious?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have to do it for the 12-step program that I'm involved in.
Yeah. I have a story about, okay, so my mom links meaning to like everything. She's like super Christian, and she has like some prophetic meaning for like different kinds of animals and what they represent in dreams and in life. And she pays attention to what comes in her yard, what doesn't come in her yard, because she feels like she has like that's like her safe haven because she prays over her house and stuff. And so that she pays attention when she sees certain animals that resemble a threat, I suppose. So I moved into her house 2 years ago, and I was going through a lot of rough stuff with my ex, and she was like, she gets all really uppity and anxious sometimes, and she doesn't really understand why, maybe, but then like she'll be like, I noticed there was a hawk in the next door neighbor's yard, and it's looking right over here. I haven't seen a hawk here in years. Or they never come into my yard, and they never go around my yard. It's an assignment. Somebody's has eyes on you, and like, I considered that, of course. And then for a little while, I just forgot about it and didn't really think anything of it. And then about a year later, I'm like really fucking depressed. And I was talking to my sister out on the back porch of that yard and talking about like how I don't know how long I'll be able to go on like this because I was just feeling like so shitty. I was like, man, life fucking sucks. And I was like, I just feel like there's just something trying to bring me down like all the time. And then a hawk appears on the fence post.
Okay.
Like I thought, I don't know. I was just, I just looked at it like, what the fuck? It just seemed too related, too much of a coincidence. It was weird. So I don't know.
I mean, how many other doesn't she do it for other animals though?
What's that?
Did you say she attributes things to other animals?
Well, like certain animals will be like messengers or eyes for like um the devil or whatever shit like that. So I just thought that was a really weird coincidence.
Sorry, what did your mum say about the hawk?
The hawk was she called it, the hawk to her symbolizes sent assignment, meaning that somebody has placed it's like they're gonna take you out, they're trying to take you out, I guess, I suppose that's what it means.
What how was the eagle appearing to you a coincidence?
It was a hawk.
Oh, hawk. How was
They're both hawks. How is it a coincidence? Because I'm sitting out there spilling my heart out, feeling really low, and then all of a sudden a hawk appears and they like never show up in the yard. I just thought it was a weird coincidence that when I'm actually talking about it, that it just comes and lands on the fence post.
How was it that you were talking about it though?
What do you mean?
I mean, is it? It doesn't matter.
Is that too weird for you? Is it too far-fetched?
No, I just no, it's not far-fetched at all. I'll tell you about something in a second. It's just that I don't see the. You see, you've got the coincidence would be that. Okay, I can see how it's a coincidence that your mum attributed something and the hawk was that.
So when she pointed out the hawk the first time, I was like really depressed then because my ex was fucking with me mentally really bad. And then she's like, oh, that hawk over there. I don't know. She went on with, that's why I correlated it to that event because it was the same situation just with my sister and not my mom.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe nothing.
Well, my mum, I don't know if I want to talk about this on the Raw channel, really. Yeah. Well, let's just say there's, a raven sort of has a symbolic connection to my grandfather and I was when I had that little argument with those old fellas at the jazz festival. After that, I went for a walk just to cool off, and a raven was perched quite low on somebody's fence and looking directly at me. Mm-hmm. Although the idea that it's looking directly at me is a bit, obviously contentious, because animals have, birds have eyes on the fucking side of the head, so they can see like both sides, not so they can look directly ahead like humans. But it seemed to be looking at me, and it seemed to be, it was like because I'd taken the wise step of not assaulting these two old chaps and also coming out and giving myself some time. That was my grandfather there, not maybe not necessarily my grandfather, but some emissary or some emanation was, it occurred to me when you started telling that story where you said it was like your mum sees meaning in things, that it doesn't necessarily have to be important that the meaning is rationally correct,
Right.
for it to make a difference to me.
Well, I've actually looked up the meaning, because I was like, no, is this could be, should I feel threatened by this? So I was like, I mean, I understand my mom could definitely be wrong. So I looked up like the prophetic meaning of hawks and stuff, and it's actually like a good thing from what I read. It seemed like, so what does it mean? What does it mean? Everything has meaning to her. It's crazy.
I mean, before I wouldn't really, I would say I would reject the meaning, that you would find in things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm sort of, it helps. It can help, you know what I mean, in certain situations. However, one of the reasons why I would have rejected it before is because you can, having false positives can also hinder. And, going along with this kind of false meaning, intuition / comfort finding can potentially lead to not very rigorous thinking and supernaturalistic kind of cultures, maybe even going beyond yourself, and so I don't know what to do with it really. I tend to lean towards using it because it's a tough old life, and anything that gives people comfort. Not anything that gives people comfort, of course, but that was just the dichotomy that I was talking about there. But
I was watching. Have you heard of the show Brain Games?
no.
Okay. Well, when your mind can't explain what happened, or can't, it will make up some stuff, or like draw some sort of connection to events or something that they can't explain, just so I don't know. I thought that was really interesting, like how people find meaning in everything, and like supernatural occurrences are really just like not so supernatural. They're just something you don't understand. It could be something as simple as a light flickering. Like, there's ghosts here. No, you have your dimmer really low, probably. That's probably why your light's flickering.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I stand with it all. So your 12-step program, how long is that? How long does that go on for?
12
12
steps.
steps.
Yeah, it just goes on for the rest of your life, basically.
Oh, okay. Now, are you free of using substance of any kind then while you're doing it, or do you try to?
Yeah, you kind of want to be. I mean, you see, you've got different fellowships. Like you've got AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and you've got NA, Narcotics Anonymous. I'm sure you've heard of them. But you've also got another one, CA, Cocaine Anonymous. That's an up and comer, and they're different, and they have different people there. Different meetings have different people, obviously, but there's a different vibe, and I'm going to all of them because I can take what I need from each one. But like the AA meetings, they have a lot of old people. Like a lot of the people are fucking above 70 and shit like that.
Mm.
But definitely over 45. You're talking vast majority of people. I'm probably the youngest person that attends. And the reason for that is that most people have got drug issues as well as alcohol. And they go, so you end up getting, in AA, they don't like you talking about the drug issues. And people can't separate it. They just cannot shut the fuck up about, whatever other drug it is. They just can't see that in AA, you've got to focus on your alcohol. And just talk about the alcohol, and any wisdom that you want to take from these people, you can apply it yourself to your drug problem or whatever it is you're going through, and they can't do that, and so the old people, they don't like it, they don't like hearing it, they don't like you're saying it. Some of the younger people, some of the younger guys don't mind, and there are people. There was a mix today, for example, in a meeting that I went to. But it's frowned upon. So people with younger people with drug problems don't tend to go, and therefore what happens is NA has got an immature culture. Do you know what I mean? There's less wisdom there. There's more cliques. They're not as loving and open,
right,
and welcoming. And they can't see that the cliques that they have keep people away, keep people out, and so then there's the CA, which welcomes everyone, and contrary to the name, Cocaine Anonymous, they actually don't care what you talk about. They don't care what your addiction is. You can even be a gambler or a sex addict, and you can still go. And that's good, because the thing about NA is as well that they rewrote the literature for AA. AA got started off in like the 30s with Bill Wilson, and he wrote the original book and the original 12-step program. It was originally a 6-step program. It came from somewhere else, more religion-based. But what Bill Wilson did was said, oh, we can do this, but we can kind of take the God out of it. Not really take the God out of it, but make it so that it's a God of your understanding. Whereas the Oxford group prior to that had been a Christian sect. And so I'm reading it for the first time, even though 10 years ago I got into recovery for the first time, and I started going to NA, and I've read the NA literature. And one of the reasons why I stopped going to NA was because the literature was just fucking contradictory. And the reason for that is because it's written by a group, it's written by consensus. When they started NA, they were like, right, we've got to have a new literature. Instead of just taking the Alcoholics Anonymous book and, replacing alcoholic with addict, just find and replace, they wrote their whole new thing. And it's got its place. I would say it's a good addition. But they should be promoting the original book, where it comes from, because that book that they've written is like a ramble. They say things over and over again, which is quite good, to be honest, for an addict, because an addict will read through something and it just won't go in because their attention is shitty because of all the fucking stimulants they've had, And so in a way that it sort of does go in, but it's like I say, it's contradictory in places, and but in the CA, they recommend, you know, the original book, and I'm just reading it for the first time at the moment, and I think that that it's a good book.
Yeah. How far into it are you?
Not very far into it at all, because I'm just sort of, I should be reading it at night and that, but to be honest, I just prefer to go to sleep, because, you know, when I was using sleep, just keeping sleep pattern was impossible, and I'm enjoying actually, you know, going to sleep at night and waking up in the morning and having a nice day. That's a nice, you know. So if I was to get into a book, then my brain's going, then I'm, you know, reading for an hour when I should be asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so there's a guy that comes around and he's going through it with me, and it's better that way anyway, because he's talking to me about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's always nice having like some sort of like book study person. Well, somebody you can at least talk to about it, for sure. So what step are you on?
I don't think I've started the steps.
Is it like black belt, white belt, green belt?
No, but I did some of the steps when I was in NA. And again, it's a more complicated process. They've got a step working guide, and it's like, you know, you go through stuff 1 billion times. You know, it's like write 1 million reasons why you're powerless over your addiction and shit like that. And it's what it leads to is people not getting all the way through the steps and then fucking relapsing, because there's a lot of fucking around, too much fucking around. But But it's probably a good, if you want to do it after you've been through the steps for the first time, it's probably a good addition. But it's not immediate enough. It's too thorough. You don't make it part of your identity. You know, by the time you've got to, because I think I did a step 4, which is like where you get out all your resentments. That's basically the psychotherapy step. You know,
like,
you're working through.
Where you write down everything that makes you upset, or what?
Yeah, your resentments. Who you've got resentments to and what you've got resentments against, and so that brings up, you know, basically whatever anyone could possibly get psychoanalyzed about.
Does that deter you from wanting to do it? It's like having to actually make a list and think about all that, write it down, and like, you ever like, I really don't want to bother with any of that. I'd rather just skip over that, or.
Well, yeah, but you can't skip over it. But I don't mind grabbing the bull by the horns, so it's not. It didn't really worry me. You just got to make sure that you pick, because you got to share it with your sponsor or someone.
Oh, okay. Nice.
You actually have to read it out and stuff. So you got to pick somebody that's cool. But again, that's one of the bad things about it. On the other hand, you know, there's no guarantee of anyone, even in a professional setting, in a therapeutic setting, you know, any counselor that you come across. I've had bad counselors, really bad counselors. They just broke the rules. You know, they did whatever they want, and they're still out there doing whatever they want. And so, you know, it is what it is. But first time around, I found a guy who was a nice chap, and I was able to share some things with him, and it's never come back to haunt me. I trust that he's never going to say anything that I told him. This time around, I ain't going to be sharing everything. I'm just going to be